What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So we got the Prisma Angstrum Incarnon today, and we'll be doing a deep dive on how you could use this thing and basically its application in the game. Before we get into it and go over all the builds and all that, make sure you sub this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads, sometimes more than daily. And also check out the live stream. I'll be live later tonight, testing out some of the remaining Incarnons and just farming out some more Wisp stuff for Plat, honestly. So come stop by. Also, while we're at it, make sure you hit that like button so we can have more people checking out this video. Alright, enough of that talk. Prisma Angstrum, how's this thing work? Well, the Angstrum is a rocket launcher pistol. You can tap fire it to fire out one shot of rockets. You can hold the trigger down to load more and more of your magazine into this. A full magazine expenditure will fire out lots and lots of rockets. Magazine size can feed more rockets into this thing as well. But just be wary of your ammo if you don't shoot through it too quickly. Now, the way the Incarnon works for the Angstrum, it's not going to be like the Torrid where body shots give you charge. No, DE actually says, go get headshots with that rocket launcher pistol. So, get some headshots with the rocket launcher, and you will charge the Incarnon meter. And with your Incarnon meter, you have a... It's like a fireball launcher, pretty much. It will have light homing. So you just see right there, I am somewhat near this enemy. It does not home in. If I'm really close, it will home in. And it sometimes has some more aggressive tracking depending on what angle you go at. Now, I will say, prior to the hotfix today, the tracking felt a lot less aggressive and it was a lot easier to get headshots with. So as of the hotfix 36.1 or whatever we're on right now, this thing feels a little bit worse than before the patch. So yeah, you get a fireball launcher. It will home in on the center of the character's model, basically. So it's going to go for a stomach shot, I guess I'd call it. And this Incarnon mode has built-in heat. Additionally, those fireballs will chain to one enemy. They will basically try to hunt one down. Not going to always hit it, especially if the enemy's walking around. But yeah, that's what you can basically expect from this thing. You're getting basically no headshots, and it's got base heat, so you can throw in corrosive heat, viral heat, etc., etc. So in mission, this is definitely better than it looks right now. I'm just trying to show you how it can be, without stacks and all that. And I have actually two different builds for you today. We have a build focused on the rocket launcher primary mode, which is the one I'm going to recommend. And if you want to use the Incarnon fireball launcher more, I'm going to recommend you go for more of a single target build with galvanized shot. The build I'm going to show you today is the Prime Fulmination AoE build. Remember, this is with no Riven, so if you do want to use this for like melting acolytes, you could use a galvanized shot build, but I'm going to show this one in the video, and we actually did melt an acolyte relatively quickly too, so. This is what you got. Let's go over all the Incarnon choices you can go for on the Incarnon Prisma Angstrum. Alright, so number one is just going to be, obviously the one you have to pick, which is going to be getting headshots charges this. Now, it's only going to be like one or two headshots for the full meter, but for tier 2, we've got two options. The one I've gone for right here is Paladin Virtue, increasing your base damage by plus 75. With energy over 700, well, with max energy over 700, you will get an increase to the crit multiplier as well. It doesn't have the best crit normally, so some crit buffs will really help it out for shredding high-level enemies. Moving on to the second option, we have Haven Foray, increasing base damage by 50, and then when you have Overshield active, you'll get another 50 base damage. So you will walk away with more base damage if you have Overshield active, but you're also losing on that crit multiplier. So those are both pretty good ones. I'd say Haven Foray is a little bit more niche, but if you do mod for Prime Flow quite often too, the other ones also a little bit niche as well. For tier 3, you got quality of life stuff. Now, the way this thing works, you're reloading this thing a lot. This Angstrum reloads a lot. As I showed earlier, you can expend the entire magazine in one bullet. Reload speed helps a lot, because you're reloading constantly. So 50% reload speed. We also got 30% projectile speed and increased ammo capacity by plus 9 as options. This thing has 18 ammo, and it picks up 3 ammo per pickup. It's not that bad. So I'd say you could probably just go for the reload speed. For the final tier, you have your big upgrades. We've got Critical Parallel giving increased crit chance and crit damage. That's the one I'm showing in the video today. Very nice with crit mods added in. You also got Survivor's Edge giving hybrid increase of status chance and crit chance, 4% respectively from each of those. And the final option is going to be Fatal Affliction, plus 40% direct damage per status type affecting the target. If you're using that build I briefly showed earlier, the Incarnon Focus build, that's probably one of the ones you could try on there. So we've got Galvanized Shot. That will actually give you even more condition overload. So you'll have about 120%. Actually, I guess it's going to be about 240% per status type if you use that. Now let's quickly show the single target build, and we'll hop into some Steel Path gameplay. And I'm also going to give, brief recommendations if I think this thing even worth it, even worth your time and play. Okay, so now we have a more single target focused build. We have Cascadia Flare, as this thing has built-in heat. The primary shot's still okay, but yeah, you'll definitely see a big increase to DPS here once we use this. So get some stacks. Okay, got some stacks. Now we can just melt her with our Cascadia Flare and our Galvanized Shot. Again, if you're trying to fight really high-level enemies, Galvanized Shot is usually the way to go. And that was definitely a lot better than the rocket launcher build. But of course, it's the rocket launcher mode itself will not be as good with this sub, as you're not proccing that much heat. Like right there, I shot an entire rocket launcher barrage, no heat procs, as I don't have any heat on the build. You're only going to be getting heat on this build from the Incarnon shot, which is not that big of a deal. Quite nice. Now you could just easily just throw some viral on here instead. Same kind of thing, but Corrosive is very good for armored enemies, also very good for acolytes. So yeah, pretty good. Now, it's a wacky space gun is how this thing feels. Additionally, if you fire this thing at a wall, it does not have like smart homing. It's like, okay, I bounced off the wall once and I'll go after an enemy. No, it will just go and fly in a random direction pretty much. If you hit an enemy with it, it's because you lucked out. And it will only bounce to one enemy, by the way. I don't see any way to make that increase. So let's get some gameplay footage of the Steel Path, and then we can talk about overall recommendations on this thing, because I actually really like it a lot. I'm actually considering getting a new rhythm for this thing going forward, going further into crits. But yeah, so the Prisma Angstrum, now this is going to have some buffs on the Steel Path, so be aware of that. As far as an AoE Incarnon pistol, is this going to be a new top-tier contender? I don't think so. I actually find the fact that you need to get headshots on this a little bit weird. Why did the Torrid get body shot Incarnon charge and this thing didn't, is kind of what I'm wondering. Also, this footage was recorded before the hotfix, where I think they actually improved the homing of the Incarnon shot, which I would actually call an overall bad thing, just because you really do want to go for headshots on the Incarnon mode for this. But yeah, would I recommend this to you? I would say that it's like a maybe. Do you really want a rocket launcher pistol? Because I like rocket launcher pistols, but the thing is that it's not as good against acolytes as you would hope. The rocket spread of the Angstrum, like basically when you fire out your shots, the spread is ridiculous, especially if you have a lot of multi-shot thrown in. As far as focus, DPS, and an acolyte, just use the Incarnon mode. It's quite nice at shredding high-level enemies if you use that galvanized shot setup. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I think the dual Toxicist would just do that too, to be honest. So the dual Toxicist is not as AoE as the primary shot, obviously, but when you go into Incarnon mode on the dual Toxicist, it feels AoE at that point. So here we are. Look at this acolyte. I even breach searched him. The Angstrum can hit little numbers like that, but then there's times where like the acolyte's standing right where you want to shoot him, that it does a bigger chunk of damage. So a very inconsistent weapon, but a very fun weapon, I'd say. If you're looking for, a mix of AoE and a mix of single target, even though honestly the bouncing fireballs are not single target technically, they can hit two enemies. I would say give this a shot. But also, if you don't really, if you're someone that's like really restrictive on how many weapon slots you have, it's not a must-have. I'd call this probably like a B tier Incarnon. The primary shot got some nice bump ups in base damage and stats with the Incarnon options. Quite nice for blowing away tons of enemies. The Incarnon, but having to charge the Incarnon meter with headshots is just kind of weird. And also, the Incarnon shot is quite nice for single target, but also we have a lot of single target options in this game at the same time. So it's not a must-have, but it's fun. So let me know how you guys feel about it in the comments down below. I would say as far as like the best Incarnon pistols in the game, this one's not even in the top 5. So yeah, it's more of a for fun thing. But also, this week's Incarnons, they were kind of like all over the place as far as how good they were. I don't think the Anku one was even working properly when it first came out, and there was a hotfix today. Hopefully it's fixed now. But yeah, I'd say either this or Gamma Core alongside the Boar should be your choices this week. And wow, that Gorgon one sure was weird. We'll have videos on all this stuff coming out soon. I appreciate the support, and sorry I can't make videos faster than this, guys. I only do one video per day usually, and I'm trying to stream. So I appreciate the support, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.